Today is one of those days that I just want to slow down and hang with my plants. So I'm planning on doing a few repottings. I'm gonna take a few cute cuttings and I'm finally moving my pothos that has been living in water for a year and a half into soil. So let's slow down together and enjoy this beautiful day. Hi plant lovers, welcome back to my green leafy space. If you're new here, my name is Alina. Thank you so much for being here. So today I have some really fun projects for you. Nothing big, just kind of relaxing plant care. So as I said, the most interesting and the most exciting project of today is that I'm finally moving my beautiful pothos into soil. So usually when I get asked how long are you planning on growing a certain plant in water, I always say that, as long as the plant and me are happy, and that's where he's gonna stay. And in the last few, 2 months, the pothos hasn't been really happy. It does pushes new leaves, but the leaves come out kind of really weak and they break. So I think it's his way to tell me that he's over living in water and wants to go back to his soil roots. Except from the Pothos project, I wanna take a few cuttings because I just got some really cute propagation vessels. I'm also planning on doing some repottings. I'm definitely gonna repot a spathiphyllum that has been drying out so fast. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more soil and I hope it's gonna give me more time between waterings, because if you have seen any of my videos, I do tend to underwater my plants. Well, not really underwater. When I water them really thoroughly, but I don't water them, I believe, frequently enough. So if I'm gonna add more soil, I'm sure it's gonna take more time between waterings. And I think I'm gonna check on the roots of my Monstera cutting that I feel like some of them look brownish. I'm not sure if they're healthy or not, but I'm just gonna check on them and I'm gonna trim everything that doesn't look healthy. So yeah, let's get into it. So I think I'm gonna start off with moving my beautiful pothos into soil. It all started with a few short vines a year and a half ago, and it has been really happy in water. You can see those beautiful roots and really long, beautiful vines. So a few months ago, it started pushing some not the healthiest leaves, as you can see over here. Oh, come on. It's kind of looks like a really weak leaves, and they started turning yellow, which is really annoying. So I do need to trim it a little. I believe that when a plant grows in water, the root system and the leaves definitely look different than a plant in water. Since they have water all the time, they kind of get, let's say, lazy, because they don't really need to look for water, and they don't have times when it dries out. So the leaves do become, they kind of don't really harden, and the root system is more weak and gentle than the soil roots. I really hope that transition is gonna be okay without any losses of leaves and stuff like that, because I really love this pothos so much, and I feel like it adds so much beauty to our living room. I am gonna trim a little the root system because I feel like it's too much, and I'm pretty sure the plant is gonna lose most of the water roots anyways. So yeah, let's grab a few stuff from the balcony and start repotting. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start off with trimming it a little bit, getting rid of all the yellow leaves. Okay, now let's check out the root system. It's pretty dry. I usually don't really add a lot of water to my cuttings. I usually keep some of the root system not submerged. I do see that there are some really good roots over here, so I'm kind of not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll just try and soften it a little so it fits my pot. By the way, roots can look like this, more white or yellowish. Some of them are green, and some have even darker color, like brown. But if they don't come off easily, it means they are healthy roots. As in here, if it would just come off easily, then I would definitely know that it's not an healthy root and would cut it off. But these are pretty healthy roots. Okay, let's see if I can fit it in. Not sure. No, I think I will trim them a little. Just gonna cut the bottom part. Again, I'm pretty sure they are gonna die off at some point because the plant will start working on a new root system that fits better for growing in soil. And a little trim never hurt anyone. At least I hope so. I'm definitely going to give you an update on this Pothos. Okay. Okay, now I think it's gonna fit just perfectly. Yeah, looks much better. So my soil mix is a pretty simple one. It's just some soil and vermiculite. I do add some orchid's bark sometimes when I replant plants like a Monstera, but usually I just use this simple soil mix if I'm replanting plants like succulents or cactus. I sometimes add a little more vermiculite or perlite, but it's pretty simple. So I can definitely say that one of my favorite plants is Pothos. And if you have a small collection of plants or a bigger one and you still don't have a Pothos, I really recommend getting one. It's so low maintenance, such a fast grower, and it can, if you treat it right, it can fill out your space in his beautiful vines in no time. So that's definitely one of my favorites. I have, I believe, like 5 or 6 Pothos plants from different varieties, and some of them I still grow in water and some in soil, but it's definitely a plant you will love to grow. I'm gonna try and keep it moist for the next few weeks. I'm not gonna let it dry out. I think it really needs a thorough watering right now, so I'm gonna use this watering tray. So what I really love about this watering tray is that I can combine top and bottom watering without the water running out of the saucer, and it also has 2 more risers that you can add after you water it. I'm gonna show you in a second. So usually when I water my plants, when I combine top and bottom watering, I love to water it from the top and then just let it sit a little and soak some more water. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more, but then because most of my plants live in cover pots. I kind of don't really like moving the nursery pot directly into the cover pot, because I feel like when the bottom is still wet, it's just an invitation for bugs. So after I give the plant some time to soak up water, I add this razor over here and just let it dry out a little, maybe soak up some moisture from the water that has left. And then when the bottom of the pot is dry, I put it inside the cover pot. I'm gonna use this cover pot for this pothos. I think it's gonna look beautiful. So I'm just gonna let it sit here a while to soak up some more water. And I am gonna keep the soil moist for, I believe, about 2 to 3 weeks, and that's it. Okay, moving on to repotting this beautiful Spathiphyllum. So if you have a peace lily, you know it's such a dramatic plant, and it's always gonna drop its leaves if you're not gonna water it on time. I'm gonna trim some older leaves that don't look really great anymore. So it's definitely not a plant that you can just relax with, because if you're not gonna water it, it's gonna drop all its leaves and gonna look pretty sad. Since it's growing in a pretty small nursery pot, it has been drying pretty quickly. I do need to water it about once a week, and I don't usually get to it until it drops its leaves. I do have a lot of new growth. It has been living, as you can see, there are a lot of new leaves. It has been living in my son's room next to an east-facing window, so it does get some direct morning sunlight, and I believe that it has been enjoying it quite a lot. I wanna pot it into this big terracotta. I think it will look so beautiful. Of course, I'm not gonna pot it into the terracotta. I have a bigger nursery pot here. I think it's about a few inches bigger than the one that it's living in right now. The one thing that I kind of still haven't figured out with Spathiphyllum is how to make it bloom. I'm really excited about it. I would really love to see some blooms. I'm still not sure how to help it bloom. So if you have any great tips, definitely let me know. Let's see the root system. Well, it looks pretty nice. As you can see, the soil is still pretty moist. I just watered it a few days ago. Well, there is a lot of soil here and not a lot of roots, but still I do want to give it some more space to be in soil to keep it longer between waterings. Okay, I think it will be perfect. I feel like if you're gonna move a plant that is in a smaller pot to a bigger one, it instantly gives it a different look. So that's gonna be really fun transition. Okay, perfect. So this space where we at right now, I feel like I really love being in this space. I really enjoy like repotting here and, you know, shooting my content in this space. But I feel like the table that we are repotting right now is gotten pretty small because obviously I want some more plants. It's like the perfect spot here because it's really next to an east-facing window, and most of my plants just love this environment. So I kind of thought of making a stand for the Monstera cutting for a while, so then I can move the Monstera to the stand, and then I'll have more space on this table. So I've been thinking of building a bigger piece of furniture for this instead of this table. And I think I finally have a vision of what I want, because I still want it to be like a some sort of a table. So I do want it still to be a space where I can work, but also I want it to be a space that can, you know, hold a lot of plants. So I kind of already had a vision of what I wanted to look. The last big project that I have done, I believe, was the potting station on the balcony. It was like a year ago, and I really haven't done anything big, and I really enjoy making furniture with wood. This is one of my passions. A lot of our furniture in our home were made by me, like the TV stand and those shelves that I get a lot of questions about. It's gonna be this sort of a table, but it is gonna have some storage, some closed storage, maybe some open storage, maybe just a little like the table, the potting station that I have on the balcony. And I'm definitely gonna have more space for plants in here. So I'm really excited about that project. I'm not sure if I have the budget for it right now. So I am definitely gonna share it with you, the whole process when I do make this project. And I'm really excited about, you know, doing some changes. In general, a really creative person. You know, there were times when I used to paint, and then I did some sewing, and then I started building furniture, and at some point I got some plants as a present and really fell in love with growing plants. So I really enjoy interior design as well, so it kind of just all comes together. I kind of always have some new projects in my mind, so I'm really excited about the few next ones I'm gonna do. Not sure when I'm gonna do it, when I'll have the time and the budget, but we'll see. Okay, let's see how it looks in the terracotta pot. Okay, love it so much. It instantly looks like a much bigger plant than it used to be because I've added a big pot. Okay, I'm just gonna put it back and see how it looks. Next, I think I'm gonna repot this beautiful Syngonium Albo that I feel like it doesn't really need a bigger pot. It just needs some soil refresh. This is, as I said, a Syngonium Albo. It has been growing in our bedroom for a few years now, and I feel like the soil is pretty old. And when the soil is old, it's kind of starts to be, I'm gonna try and take it out with the beautiful Trellis. When the soil is old, it starts to not really soak up any water. It's kind of hydrophobic, and the roots don't really get any water. It has been growing pretty well, especially since I've added the Trellis. It kind of gave it more support. It has a new leaf coming over here, and here this one is a newer leaf. Let's see. Okay. So I started talking a little about me being creative, and I kind of feel that I always have been creative, but when I got older, I kind of had more opportunity to express my creativity. So the funny thing is that my profession is, I believe, the most not creative one. So I used to, till a year ago, I used to be a OR nurse for 10 years. I currently live in Israel. I was born in Ukraine to a Russian mother and a Jewish father, and we moved to Israel when I was 12. And when I finished school, I went to the army because girls are obligated to go to the army as well as boys here. So I was in the Navy for 2 years, and when I finished army, it took me a while to decide what I want to be. And the decision was, you know, my Russian mother, of course, said that I need to study something practical, that I can always find a job. And that's what I ended up doing. When I finished my school, my studies, I moved to a different city in the center, and started working at a hospital in a OR. As a nurse, there's really not a lot of like space for being creative, and since my mind is kind of always thinks of more projects and stuff that I want to do, and potentially I can make my living from something that I love. So at some point about a year ago, I decided I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna try and do different things. So in the year that I have left the OR, I managed to do a lot of things. I created my houseplant journal, which was so exciting to me. I really grew my Instagram channel in this year. I made the plant journal. I opened this channel, this YouTube channel, which is also took me some time to feel comfortable, you know, talking to the camera, not in my first language. It's not even my second language, English. So yeah, I did. So I'm not really sorry about not like being a nurse, because that's how I met my hubby. We met in the hospital. And I'm not really sorry for taking this break, because I managed to do so much stuff that I was really like excited about and really dreaming about. So I am looking for a job as a nurse right now, like a part-time job. I can truly say with all my heart that it's such a beautiful profession, and you can really, like, if I don't want to be an OR nurse anymore, then I can definitely find something different, something totally different. So there are so many opportunities, but it's such a like underrated profession. Usually involves a lot of stress. Mostly, I don't know if like for other nurses, but in OR there's a lot of stress, a lot of nerves. So I kind of, you know, at some point realized that that's not how I want to live my life. Yeah, I guess a little about me. Okay, so finished repotting this beautiful Syngonium. I'm gonna water it thoroughly and gonna put it back. I feel like it might need a little more support here, but I guess I'll do it later. Okay, so I've cleaned all the mess. This is definitely the less exciting part of repotting plants and plant care in general. But moving on to my Monstera cutting. I just want to take it out of the vessel and see how the roots look. I feel like oh my god, there are some unhappy roots, so I kind of feel like I want to trim them. Okay, it's always not the easiest task to get it out of the vase. Okay, you can definitely see some of the roots. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. Some of the leftovers from the roots, which means some roots are not the happiest, and there is kind of like not a really pleasant smell from the water, although I changed it a few days ago. I did just publish a video with all my tips and tricks of caring for propagating and caring for a Monstera cutting, where I give some great tips on how to also deal with root rot if you decide to grow your Monstera in water. So check it out if you're interested and you want to grow a cutting like this. So this is a pretty unhappy root. So what I usually do when I change the water, I also shower my cutting, the leaves and the root system with a good pressure, good water pressure, as you can see, and all the unhappy roots come off. I think I'm just gonna trim some of them, and then I'm just gonna shower it. Okay, so all these roots. So I feel like when you grow a plant in water, there are always gonna be some unhappy roots. So it's really important like to be on top of it because if there's root rot in some parts of the root system, it can affect all the other roots. Okay, I'm just gonna do some trimming. Okay, so not all like black or brown roots are unhealthy roots. You just need to really check them with your fingers. As you can see, it comes off easily. That means it's not really happy. So let's see what we're gonna trim. There are a lot of roots that are happy here. This is a newer one. Just gonna take off everything that doesn't look healthy. In the video I just posted, talking a little about the journey I've had with this cutting, and we did have a almost full root rot on this cutting about almost like a year ago, when I had to cut most of the root system, like 90% of the root system, and start over, and it just took it like, I believe, a month to grow a full root system. So if you see some unhappy roots, don't be scared to cut them off. It's definitely gonna help your cutting, and you are gonna avoid a full root rot. So everything that doesn't look good, just cut it off. Just make sure that you still have some healthy roots. Okay. See, it looks pretty bad. I'm gonna take it to shower. I'm gonna clean the root system. I'm gonna give it some fresh water, and we're gonna move on to taking some fun cuttings. Okay, I'm back with some fresh roots and some fresh water for this beautiful cutting. Now let's move on to taking some other cuttings. Okay guys, moving on to taking some cuttings, and this one is a Philodendron Micans that I have been really enjoying. I got it not a really long time ago. I feel like maybe 6 months ago, and since I've added the Trellis, it has been so happy. I really love those beautiful velvety leaves and this burgundy color on the back of its leaves. It's not a really fast grower, but it did grow a lot of new vines, a lot of new leaves. So I decided it's the perfect time to take some cuttings. Okay, let's do it. Okay, next plant is my Pothos Enjoy that I have repotted in one of my previous videos. It was potted in such a bad way and it really wasn't growing. After I repotted it, it started growing. First of all, it started growing and it grew these big beautiful leaves. So I think I'm gonna take 2 cuttings. Let's take this one and maybe this one. Okay, to the next plant. Okay, and this one is my Philodendron Brazil. That is not a big plant. They are such a slow growers, but it did grow some new leaves recently. So that's really exciting. I'm not gonna take a lot from this plant. I think I'm gonna take this beautiful variegated vine, and that's it. Okay. So I recently got these cute propagation vessels. These cute little mushrooms that I believe will be perfect for smaller cuttings. So I am gonna take some of the lower leaves off. And I think maybe here. It's gonna look so cute. Another one. The opening of these vessels is pretty small, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna work mostly for smaller cuttings, of course. Okay, here I have some aerial roots, so it will definitely help the propagation to be a success. Okay, I think I'm gonna put this one over here on the side. And this beauty in the smaller one, I think I'm gonna take 2 of the leaves off. Okay, maybe even 3. Okay, really cute. Okay, I think I should have filled the water first and then added the cuttings, but never mind. Okay, this is it. I'm kind of not sure if I want to keep them all together or just find a unique spot for them, for each one of them. But yeah, let me know what you think. Are they gonna look cute in one space, like together, or would you find like a unique spot for each and every one of them? I'm really happy that I've had this morning to hang with you guys and to give my plants some extra love. I always feel so much better after I do some plant chores. If you're gonna do some fun projects with your plants this spring, definitely let me know in the comments. If you want daily plant inspiration and great care tips, follow me on my Instagram. I'll link my profile in the description of this video. And as usual, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for your support. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video.